Nice to meet you. So we have 4 questions about animals, all right?
All right.
So the first question is, how do you feel about animals?
How do I feel about animals?
Yeah.
Like everything, there's some animals that, really good, really useful. And then there's some animals like mosquitoes that, you don't really like. And then there's some animals you're neutral about.
Okay, so some you feel like there's some that you like, some neutral, and some.
But
Okay, cool. All right, so second question is, how do you feel about people that abuse animals?
I don't see any reason you should have to abuse an animal.
I agree. I
Right.
totally agree. I don't see a reason either.
I think they're bad people.
I agree.
I think it's just like humans are, by definition, animals too. I think it's just like beating a human.
Sure, just like beating a human, right? Because we're humans are animals too. Absolutely, for
Like
sure.
if you have to fight an animal for like self-defense, I can see that. But if you're just beating it because you feel like it, or it annoys you or something, then is there really a good purpose behind it?
I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. Okay, so third question: how would you qualify or describe animal abuse? How would you explain it to someone, maybe with an example?
So, animal abuse. It doesn't have to be physical. It can just be mistreatment too.
Sure.
Like if you have like a dog, and it's pouring rain outside, and you're just leaving it out there, and it wants to come in. I guess that could kind of count as animal abuse, maybe
Sure.
mistreatment.
Sure.
Like obviously there's the obvious physically striking an animal.
Sure.
When it doesn't don't need to. Maybe being excessively rough with it.
Sure, striking the animal, being excessively rough with it, not taking care of its needs, right? That's what I'm hearing, sure. And I think it can also be physical along with emotional as well, right? Absolutely. Okay, so fourth question. This is an easy one to ask, can be a harder one to answer. It's not a gotcha moment or anything like that. How do you feel about the animals then that we take into the slaughterhouses to be killed for meat, milk, and eggs, or to be worn for leather, fur, wool, silk? What do you think about that?
So, in terms of using animals for our benefits, like eggs, milk, I think there's obviously better ways than slaughterhouses of just mass, basically. There's definitely better ways of I don't think that it's necessarily wrong to use animals for our benefits, like eggs, meat, clothing. I think especially food. I think that's just how nature is. There are animals that eat other animals for food. But I feel like there's definitely better ways we can go about it in terms of, putting the animal down and using its resources.
So do you think that, and again, I'm not judging you, it's just conversation, do you think that we have to use animals? So you mentioned about using animals, right, and for whether it's for, something to wear or something to eat, do you feel it has to be done? Do you think we can get what we need without having to do that?
Nowadays, there are probably a lot more alternatives than using animals.
Sure.
I know there's a lot of synthesis with I know different foods. There's for example burgers. There's vegan burgers now.
Sure.
Clothes. I know they're trying to make vegan leather.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff. So back then, there's definitely a lot more substitutes now.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Say 100 years ago.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree with you. 100 years ago, or back in history, for survival's sake, certain things might have to have happened, but we have other choices now, right? And so you mentioned vegan. So do you know what the definition of veganism is?
I believe it's abstaining from all animal foods and products.
There, you're on the right track, yeah. So a lot of people think it's just a diet where you don't eat animal products, but it's an ethical stance that humans should live without exploiting animals, right? So yeah, so not eating meat, milk, and eggs, not wearing leather, fur, wool, silk, not going to zoos, aquariums, right? Because we don't have to do any of those things in order for us to live a good, strong, healthy life, right? All the science agrees that we can get everything we need without having to eat animal products. We can wear other things other than leather and fur and wool. We can have other ways to entertain ourselves, right? So like you had said too, and I agree with you, in the past that might have been a necessity. And today, would you agree it's not a necessity?
So there's a lot more alternatives now.
A lot more alternatives, right? So then if we don't have to do those things, then why would we? It would just be a choice that we don't necessarily need to make, right? So is there anything that you feel would stop you personally from going vegan?
I don't know, steaks are pretty good. Well, there's a lot of just food. I feel like the most I'd be able to go is maybe pescatarian, maybe vegetarian at most. But I feel like cutting eggs out, milk and all that stuff, I feel I don't know.
kind of a question to think about, right? Yeah. So when I went vegan, I didn't go vegan because I didn't like meat or I didn't like steak or I didn't like milk and eggs. I went vegan because I didn't want to be the reason that an animal was exploited and killed, right? Because there's other things that I can eat, and I don't have to be the reason that happens in the first place, right? So if I don't have to be the reason, then why would I? So if I put myself in the position of the animal, right? Animals are so victimized in our society that they're not even seen as victims, right? So humans are the oppressors, animals are the victims. If we look at it instead of through our eyes and we look at it through the animal's eyes, then the decision becomes a lot easier, right? If I'm not willing to trade places with the animal, right? Would you be willing to trade places with the animal about to be killed for a burger?
Probably not.
No, right? Nobody would, right? No one says yes to that, right? So if we're not willing to trade places with them, then why would we do it? Do you believe animals deserve respect?
I think everything deserves a baseline level of respect. Yes.
Agreed. And do you think there's a respectful way to kill someone that doesn't want to die?
Probably not.
Right. So with that in mind, do you think that there would be anything stopping you from going vegan?
I guess it's still just, I guess if I were to go vegan, it would take time adjusting to it, but I think I could probably become vegan.
Right on. Awesome. Let me give you a card. We're not selling anything, by the way. It's just a resource to help you with exactly what we're talking about.